Can someone else speak, please?
Hello, hello. How are we
Okay,
doing
let's
today?
try this again.
Let's see
Sounds good
here.
on my end.
Okay.
Hello,
Well,
hello.
Okay, think we got it. Everything sounds fine over here. So, thank you everyone for your patience.
Yeah, everything sounds fine on my end, so great. If anyone else still hears it, let us know. But through my headphones and the others' headphones, at least, it sounds okay.
All right.
yeah.
So, welcome back.
So again, welcome to session 12 of, session 11 of Changeling, session 11 of Geist the Sin Eater's Second Chances. Sorry, I have a lot of things on my brain at the moment. Uh, Another thing I wanted to bring up, but I forgot before we restarted the stream, I've also decreased the frequency of ads by quite a bit. There should only be a minute and 30 seconds every hour. Okay, so that said, let's go ahead and get started. Uh, what did you guys do during your downtime? Who
Um,
wants to go first?
I can. Jeff, do you want to go?
you go. You go right ahead.
All right. So my day actions are all pretty simple. Day one, I decided to go meet Ethan's parents. They are cold and unfriendly, but they seem to tolerate my presence. So, hey, about to start. Day two, I decided to ask Mr. Ripley about Agnes. If you don't remember Agnes, she's the one who um, left the theater just before the gassings. So he looks through his library to find an obituary for Agnes Palmer Nee Foster. According to the information, she was born in 1913 and died in 1988, leaving behind a son and a granddaughter, Deanne. The obituary makes a few oblique mentions to a life filled with rumor and scandal, but that's about it. And day three, I decided to investigate Gaspar Kimball. Uh, it's not hard to find information about him. He's an old guy, older than his cousin, who is the mayor, and he owns the Castle of the Macabre in the area that could be charitably called downtown. He wanders around town wearing period appropriate 1920s attire and has a hand in every horror or true crime themed event or attraction in town. He was in the news a few years ago for smacking the mayor over the head with his cane, which got him a week in jail. I like this guy already. And is in the papers currently for adopting the newly orphaned Casper the Kung Fu Cat.
All right, so who wants to go next?
Well, I suppose I will go. For my first day, I decided to work a shift for Dan Draven and tried to convince the spirits haunting him to follow me out instead of staying stuck to their killer. I got a chance to observe Dan and his clique during my work hours. While I'm able to get their attention and talk to them briefly, they lose interest and they go back to following Dan around and screaming. So, we'll have to work on that. Um, on day two, we jump in Mr. Ripley and run our usual rituals. Mr. Ripley is deeply enthusiastic about being added to the crew and also will not stop asking how we can get him to talk to ghosts. So, I'm going to have to work on that for him. Lastly, uh, I headed to cheer practice at school to observe. Be Aggressive seems to be responding positively to cheer practice until they start singing the Whispering Peaks fight song. When that starts, she begins following along with a cheer robotically, chanting "Be aggressive" with the living cheerleaders, with bloody tears straying beneath her stringy hair. After that, she retreats within your body and refuses to come out for the rest of the night. So I think that that was a really good idea up until the point I remembered that they are literally forced to go along with the cheer whenever it happens, which would have required a little more thinking on my part.
Yep, that is the nature of a ban and bane. All right, Ethan.
Alrighty. So day one, I spent convincing my parents that my crewmates here are worth a damn, so that they're not actively hostile towards me hanging out with people of lower class, I suppose. Um, I attempted. Let's see here. Yeah, sorry. Basically spent the day two kind of getting a feel for the Farmer Kimball's grocery store and kind of getting a feel for that. And then on day three, I dropped a USB stick in their in there to see if I can get someone to do the dumb thing and plug a random USB device into a corporate computer, see if I can get a backdoor in that way. So we'll see how that goes.
All righty. So that about does it for downtime then. So today is Saturday, November 18th, 2023. Let's deal with that USB stick right away. Can you roll me a chance die, Ethan?
Alrighty.
Dun
Let's
dun dun.
see here. There it is. One. That is a 4 on the dice, so no go.
All righty. Uh, when uh, when you get a ping from your software about for spying on folks using that USB stick, you find that it has been plugged into a computer, but it is certainly not a corporate computer. It appears to be a computer belonging to, from what you can see, someone who is at least in middle age, considering that they're using we're still using Windows 7, and the desktop is entirely covered in icons. It'll take some research on this computer to see what you've managed to do.
Alrighty, I can work with this. So, uh, did you want me to do that uh, behind the scenes, or did you want to handle that now?
If you want to do the research, you can do the research. I'm not your dad. I'm just the storyteller.
Okay. Let me see if I can do a little bit here to figure out the a more specific identity of this person.
Something to do while we're finishing up school. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got I've got hockey practice, and I'm sure the debate team has meetings every once in a while. So why don't you handle that, and then after that, we will head on down to the underworld.
Alrighty. Um, how about a intelligence plus computers roll?
Makes sense to me.
Alrighty. Oh no, I'm gonna willpower that. Zero successes on 9 dice is
It's fun.
there we go. 2 successes.
Hmm. You page through the computer trying to figure out who it could possibly belong to. The pictures folder is absolutely filled to the brim with Minions memes. And the documents folder is filled with some pretty well organized Excel spreadsheets. Uh, you're looking at expense reports, things like that. Looking through them, you're seeing like $1,000 monthly spend on walnuts, 500 on cashews, an extra 150 on cinnamon, things like that.
Can't hear you, Tibbs.
Hey
Let, let
there.
me let me write this down here.
Thank you for following.
Hey.
Hello, Alex. Thank you very much for the follow.
Okay, you said walnuts. You said walnuts, cinnamon.
Cashews.
Okay. And
Uh,
cinnamon, right?
Hmm.
these were massive expenses. Like that's that sounds like something you'd be doing if you were running a store rather than if you were, you know, doing this in yourself. So we might have gotten management,
Mm-hmm.
just
Okay.
not necessarily, you know.
Here's the fun thing though. So Excel has a nifty little thing called uh called VBA where I can where you can set that up to do automatic macros and it can do anything as long as you can code it correctly. So
You've got
this would be fun.
access to all of their stuff so you can figure out their probably you can also figure out who this copy of Excel belongs to.
Oh, easily. Easily. Can just go over to the account tab on the um in Excel and it'll show me like their name and email address and all that kind of stuff.
All right. Well, sounds like you're all set up. And it sounds like I'm getting done with hockey practice. So, shall we gather up and head on down?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Alrighty. So where is everyone going to gather up?
Um, I think which gate do you guys want to take down? I mean, the cemetery feels like the standard one at this point.
Yeah, sounds about right.
A lot
And
less creepy than the furnace.
and honestly, you know, requires a lot less trespassing in property we don't own that might be under investigation due to a recent murder in the area. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna head there, and we are going to invite along Moneybags, Gus. I believe that's the only ghost we've got following us around these days.
Gonna have to step it up if you want more ghosts.
We really are. Well, we do have one on the books for today.
Alrighty. So we're heading to the cemetery.
Indeed, we are.
All right. So the group heads into the old graveyard at the Whispering Peaks Memorial Gardens, over to the Avernian gate that the group normally uses. Can I get everyone to make a perception roll? If you want your ghost friends to make it too, they can feel free.
Alrighty.
3 successes.
One success.
4 successes.
Well, everyone is rolling well when it comes to perception today. As the crew approaches the partially sunken mausoleum that serves as the Avernian Gate, the 3 Sin Eaters immediately notice something. The key to this gate, as you found weeks ago, was to write R.I.P. in the dust on the door. You'd saw before, the first time you'd been here, that the R.I.P. key had been written in multiple times, but there was a coating of dust over most of it, as if whoever had been doing it hadn't done it lately. This time, standing out as clear as day, is an extremely fresh RIP. It couldn't have been written in the dust more than 30 minutes to an hour ago.
Welp.
Okay. So, okay.
Fuck it, let's go find out who it is.
Yeah.
Good answer is potentially we found one of the people that we're trying to deal with who are bad to us. Bad potential is somebody figuring this out who's on our team who has decided that the buddy system is for squares.
Completely neutral is someone we don't know who is not bad for us.
I mean, there are allegedly a history of necromancy in this town that we're still learning about, so maybe that too.
Yeah.
Let's head on down.
Alrighty. So the crew makes their way down the endless staircase and through across the and once down in the underworld, making their way along the river Styx until they reach the bridge that takes them along the familiar route to Purgatory Junction.
All right. Kenny, you said the marks were very recent, so presumably any passage that has occurred then is also very recent.
About 30 minutes to an hour prior is what
So,
you're getting, roughly.
so I'm guessing that I could probably make a decent shot at following any marks of passage such a person would have made, any recent disturbances to the terrain. Would you accept
It,
a wits plus survival, or would you prefer a perception to try and find those?
tracking is definitely a survival action.
All right, and second question. I believe that the underworld counts as cold for all intents and purposes, being that we are one of the only sources of warmth you can find down here, correct?
Definitely.
All right, then I would like to apply my cold
Am I allowed to
specialization.
assist?
I've got 5. Does anyone have better for wits plus survival?
Am I allowed to assist?
Sure.
All right, let me roll first. I've only got 4.
I have a chance dice, so I'm gonna
Keep your chance
refrain.
dice to yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna refrain there.
Nathan sees nothing.
Don't tell me no lies and keep your chance to yourself. All right, 2 successes.
While there's always ghosts coming and going by these roads, uh, there's usually a bit of a difference between what you've noted as a ghost's footprint and a mortal's footprint. The ghosts who live in Purgatory Junction generally wear whatever trash they can scavenge. No shoe that they would have on is going to be in pristine condition, even if it's one they've made themselves, because it will have surely been made of either trash floating down one of the rivers from the mortal world, or a cast off of something that had been destroyed in the mortal world and now found itself in the underworld. A fairly pristine looking footprint stands out like a sore thumb,
Well, are they
which
headed?
is just what
Sorry.
you happen to see, a set of pristine footprints heading into Purgatory Junction.
Well, that answers the question I had. Well, mortals, everyone. All right. Gus, Moneybags, keep an eye out for a disturbance.
The ghosts agree to stay on watch. So what's your play now?
There's no way we're going to be able to track somebody through an urban environment. There's just no way. There's too much foot traffic here. And chances are there's something like a road here, so it's not like we're going to have footprints in the sand to follow. At least I assume. So, being that this is a mortal wandering around, apparently solitary, because we didn't hear about extra footprints or anything around them, I suspect we're going to find them by the noise. So, I guess go looking, try and find them, keep an ear out for the big screaming match.
Also, just we could probably ask these enforcers along the way.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, I imagine that a just a dude uh, rolling around in the underworld is gonna stand out. So probably asking the locals might get us quite a bit of headway.
All right. I'm going to need some rolls from you if you want to gather information. What do you want to do?
Um, does anyone have a really good socialize or streetwise, maybe?
Nope.
I have two in socialized.
I mean, we're trying to get information out of a vague crowd moving around. I feel like socialize is probably the role for that. Presence plus.
Presence or manipulation plus streetwise or socialize will work just fine. So, uh,
All right, I'd like to do presence plus socialized.
alrighty.
Exceptional success.
Nice.
All right. That's an exceptional success. All right. So asking around, you go around asking if there had been any mortals seen around here. You get some mixed information, but some of the ghosts who are more kindly disposed towards you uh, give you some information about the scenario itself. It's not particularly rare for mortals to come down here, but usually a mortal who does come to the underworld has more sense than to just walk around breathing and showing everyone their rosy cheeks full of blood. Uh, Mortals aren't supposed to be here, but any mortal who has enough sense to get down here on their own is likely not advertising the fact.
Okay. What do we do with that, y'all?
Um, hmm.
Do we keep chasing, or should we go do our actual thing for today and see what happens, or if they show up, or what happens?
Well, um,
I think I know how
uh,
to eliminate my one biggest concern very quickly.
Cool.
Let's go to the dead mall. The person I am most worried about breaking in down here under their own power had one place that they were most interested in and that had the most hold over them.
You
If they
think
were to
it's
come
Myrtle,
here,
don't you?
that is my fear. Anyone else, you know, but we brought Myrtle down here and they were very interested, and this would be a thing that they would do if they came back down here. So let's check the dead mall. Let's scroll past the store if they're there. Well, we can pick them up for the party today and have a long chat about the buddy system, because that is in fact part of our virtues here. Nobody gets left behind, nobody is left alone. If you're part of this, you play with the buddy system. So let's check there. And after that, I mean, I literally can't figure out how to find them other than having one or two more levels in Oracle than we have, sheer random luck, or screaming, "Living person!" as we wander down the street.
Hydrate. Thank you, Tibbs.
Alrighty. So, with that in mind,
All right, so you want to look around the dead mall. Anything where in particular you want to go?
the bookstore, I think, is the most likely place to turn something up.
All right, you head into the bookstore, and the ghost behind the counter perks up, recognizing the group of you as the Sin Eaters who spend big. He gives you a smile and says, "Welcome. Can I help you with anything?"
Hi there. Have you happened to have a weird customer come by in the last hour or so?
Hmm. The only one that stood out to me, he said, um, is a lady I spoke with just about 10 minutes ago, maybe less, um, who was asking quite a lot of questions about various sacrifice rituals, and also bought a cast off cooking book. one that had come down here a few weeks ago. Uh, various recipes for desserts.
Huh.
Was it the same woman we brought with us last time?
Oh no, this lady was about a foot and a half shorter. I couldn't really tell you much else about her because she was wearing a big black parka. I could only really tell it was a lady from her voice. I have my suspicions that I may have been talking to a mortal, but
Gus,
it's hard to tell.
question for you. Have you seen Lucerne today?
Gus snorts from his nose and says, Lucerne doesn't let me out of her sight longer than she has to. Yeah, I was with her just before we headed out.
Have we seen
Stupid
Chloe?
question. Uh, Kenny, I don't know this, but obviously, Ty would know this. Is is she short? Is Lucerne
Is
short?
who short?
Is
Not particularly. Oh, Zoom is crashing. I will be back in just a moment.
Okay.
We thank everyone for your tolerance during the next couple of moments as we have some fun visual errors.
So, okay.
It's glitch day, everyone.
So, interesting little thing. The this woman was asking about sacrificial rituals as well as a particular cookbook, right?
Can we kick the dead Kenny?
I
All right, I'm back.
da, 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 where is it? Remove. Remove.
And we're back.
All right. There's gonna be some shuffling about. Okay. So if I'm not mistaken, a lot of people or there's stories of people encoding uh rituals and alchemical stuff in as cookbooks. So,
Perhaps a social roll or a bribe against the clerk might get you some more information.
You know what? Um, I think we
Persuasion?
I think we've got a very clever and persuasive person in the party who might be able to get more information than I could.
Can I try composure plus persuasion?
Composure's more of a defensive stat. Think of you.
Presence?
Yeah, presence is more. Yeah, like looking at the stat sheet, the power stats are power, thus comparative to like something like a punch in the face, and finesse is, you know,
a knife
skill.
in
Like
a,
like
a knife in the back.
Strength
yeah,
is a
like
punch, uh, and Dex is like aiming a gun or working with complex tools.
presence would be something like looking someone directly in the eye and outright asking for information, while manipulation would be trying to get them to tell you on their own.
I guess I just consider composure more often than not because I myself, along with Nathan, have massive anxiety. So it all feels like I'm being attacked even when I'm asking a question.
You came out to have a good time and you feel so attacked right now, is what I'm getting. Also, cat.
Yes, one success.
All right, presence plus persuasion, one success. What are you asking?
I don't know. I was just rolling. What am I asking, guys?
So follow up on the person. Ask details, see if you can get them to tell you anything more.
I was
Was
gonna
there?
say I was gonna
Go
say
ahead.
follow up on the cookbook because that those are two very,
I think we can get
divergent.
the cookbook answer from the person when we can find them.
Okay.
Well, we also just already got all of the information about the cookbook. All she said all she knew about it was that it was a desserts cookbook. Um, was there anything else that you can remember about this person? Which way they went, if they had an accent, if they used any weird language? Did they seem to look through the book first?
No, she didn't really look through the book. She came in, she knew exactly what she was looking for, asked for the book by name. Then she made some small talk about what information we might have on uh, rituals of human sacrifice, things like that. Uh, then she paid me quite handsomely and left. Uh, she was about a foot and a half shorter than the lady that you brought in last time. I remember that. A good bit shorter than either of you, than any of you. I would guess 4.5 feet. And her voice sounded quite old.
Huh.
Okay.
Everyone roll perception at a -5.
Thank you, Void!
Thanks, Void. We really appreciate the cheer.
Thank you for the biddies.
Alrighty. Perception at a -5. I think Mr. Will Powers, attorney at law, is going to be visiting. Which brings me up to a pool of 5. 2 successes.
All
Two
right.
successes.
Before we move on, Ethan, you rolled a chance die and failed.
Yes,
That
I
is a
did.
dramatic that is a dramatic failure.
Yes. Yes, it
Take
is.
your take your beat.
Okay.
Second, we'll get into that momentarily. Second, uh, Ty and Nathan both notice that the clerk is reaching under the counter, taking something out and popping it into his mouth as he talks to the three of you.
Okay, you know what? I think I'm done playing a little coy. Um, we've been coming to the underworld for a while. We've got a lay of the land, and we know the kind of things to bring. So I've got my whole packed lunch. A packed lunch made for somebody doing active physical weight training. Like, this is some substantial food, some meat, the kind of stuff that would genuinely keep a body going through several hours of intensive physical labor. I set that on the table, itemizing the elaborate sandwich, the snacks, the drink. Ma'am, I have a question for you. What'd they pay with, and is there anything else you can think of?
Uh, the clerk eyes the lunch uh, and swallows greedily. I'll tell you, but I'm not sharing, the clerk says, while he gingerly reaches under the counter and produces a paper cone half full of candied pecans.
Um,
Um,
Does the
She
paper
gave
cone
me
have any
2.
markings on it?
Yeah. Pretty familiar to you guys, actually. The paper cone is covered in prints with the logo for Deanne's Nuts and Confectionaries on it, uh, which, as of last year, was changed. Uh, D's Nuts, Deanne's Nuts and Confectionaries.
well, also, Tibbs, I hate to I hate to ruin this for you, but I think I figured out who you hacked.
Got him.
You've got
Yeah,
D's nuts.
you hacked
Uh,
Agnes's granddaughter.
this is gonna be interesting.
This information having been gleaned, the party hears and feels a rumbling from uh, the where the bathrooms would be when the mall was in use.
I told you guys I was waiting for the noise to happen. Ty is in motion.
We're heading out.
I
I sank
the
the person behind the counter on our way.
my payment is left behind. I owe them nothing else, and I got the answer I wanted. As far as I'm considered, this is done, and now I'm in motion.
Give me, let's see, give me dexterity plus athletics, please.
Hi there. So, um, yeah, I don't think I can sell this place as frozen. Okay.
Everyone can feel free to make this roll, including the ghosts.
I really need to work on my decks. Jesus.
How do I? You said ghosts, not geists, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, your geists are serving as your
No.
souls, so they're just sitting there.
No. Categorically not.
Well, you don't want to take a beat.
You know what? I failed twice. I'm eating the call of beyond. Tide takes a dramatic failure.
There we go.
I
How
failed
do
two
I?
times in a row with 6 dice. I am not meant to pass this roll. I am gonna eat shit on the way there.
Ty busts into the bathroom hallway, outstripping Nathan by quite a bit. Ty arrives just in time to see a small, chubby figure in a large black parka summoning what appears to be an Agurnian gate from the floor. She turns around when she hears you coming and says, uh, loud, one hand held out towards you, child caught between life and death, I abjure thee. You stop in your tracks and fall directly onto the ground, that momentum being transferred directly from your skull to the floor, cracking the tile. Ah, she steps through a gate of swirling blue ectoplasm, which immediately disperses.
I bleed on the
Okay,
tile.
so
Nathan shows up just in time to see the end of this happening.
but I succeeded.
Yes, you succeeded, thus you didn't eat shit.
You got to see the thing, and I got violenced on, and they also got to see me. Otherwise, we wouldn't have
Fuck.
seen anything.
Okay.
Nathan,
Yes.
as you skid to a stop, uh, beside Ty, you notice that a cast-off book was left behind, apparently dropped in the hullabaloo. Will you pick it up?
I mean, obviously, books don't deserve to be left on the ground.
This is an old-looking book. It's bound by hand, with the pages having yellowed unevenly as well. It looks like paper was added here and there. The cover is hard to make out because of all the burn marks. But after a few minutes, you're able to make out that it says Foster Family Dessert Recipe Book.
Okay, let me write that down real quick so I don't forget that.
So yes, you succeeded.
I was about to ask you how the possessed new manifestation works. This is almost as good.
So let me know when I'm allowed to move again and how much damage did my face take.
1 point of bashing damage.
Thank you.
Nathan attempts to help him up, but well, Ty is huge.
Once Ty is physically capable of moving again, he gets up. Um, can I check something real quick?
Yeah.
I turn. I no, I was saying that to Nathan in character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I promise I'll catch you. I attempt to make the same hand sign they said and repeat what they said to me. Child caught between life and death, I abjure thee. Does anything happen?
Nathan feels briefly a resistance in the air, but it dissipates quickly.
I think I have indigestion.
Okay. So I don't know the
Can
ritual.
can can I roll a intelligence plus occult to try to decipher the what actually needs to be done? Or the or not the what he was trying to do, I should say.
You can make an attempt.
Okay.
I'm sorry if there's a free
4 successes.
if there's a free ceremony on market here, I want to at least try for it. It might
All
also
right.
mean we know how it works.
Ethan shows up slightly late to the party, but gets caught up pretty quickly. Uh, from the description of what happened, as well as the semi-failed attempts by Ty, he's gleaned that what he is looking at is some sort of abjuration ceremony. If only the full ritual could be figured out. It does appear to be one that can be used quickly in times of uh, need, such as, for example, if a necromancer was being attacked by an angry ghost.
Well, hey guys, we have a house to break into after all of this, but this has gotten in the way of our original plan. Luckily, we're already downtown.
Ethan, I will have you note down that you recognize that one of the necessary components is a hand sign. but you do not believe that the actual incantation itself is of any occult significance.
So there was something else going on, but I didn't see it, of course, because I was running through a door and not prepared to absorb a ceremony.
Okay. We we have a starting point. We can I can I can suss it out from here.
All right. With that in mind, we've got one other thing that we need to do in town before we perhaps get out of town, and that's go and see the pit. So
All right.
I
Which
believe
is not a dwarven metal band.
um, Ethan, how far are you able to project that consciousness of yours when you are boneyarding?
Let me see.
How many dots of boneyard do you have?
I believe I'm up to 3 at this point.
All right. By default, raise the boneyard gives you up to a large house or building, but you have for the third dot, no escape, which widens the area of effect to as far as a small town, university campus, or city neighborhood.
Can I ask a stupid question while we're here? Does the shroud work in the underworld?
The shroud
Yes.
transforming into a ghost.
Yes, the one where they would be able to become invisible, intangible, and all that. Do they become invisible and intangible here, or are they, like a ghost is here, perfectly visible and perfectly tangible?
The shroud merges you with your Geist in order to become more or less your own ghost. Uh, what you are talking about, invisibility and tangibility, is an effect of being in the state of twilight,
And there is no
which does
twilight.
not exist in the underworld.
So this isn't an incredibly clever plan.
You could do anything a ghost can do in the underworld,
Such as
uh,
walk around and be a person.
or use ghostly powers to do ghost things.
Oh well.
But walking through walls, no, that does not work.
I was just hoping for invisibility, to be honest. But I think this is one specific place where that won't work. Damn, I thought this was gonna be a real fucking play.
I mean, the boneyard would work just fine, which is why I was wondering why you asked about the shroud immediately after the boneyard.
Because I just had the idea, and if it worked, it would be useful for other things. Having the
Fair
only
enough.
invisible person in the underworld. So, how close can we get to the pit?
Well, as the group approaches the pit, this is what you see. So, the pit is dead in the center of Purgatory Junction. Uh, looked down on by Gilt Skull Manor. There is a surprisingly high quality fence for its location that appears to be about, if you'd guess, a football field's length away from the actual entrance into the pit. From where you stand, you can see that the roads around it converge on into several gates, which begin a downward ascent over the course of about 100 yards, and then at the end of that 100 yards, take a sharp vertical dip into the ground. From here, you can see that the pit itself appears to be a hole in the ground Roughly, you'd guess a city block or so in diameter. You can faintly see lights along the walls, illuminating a path spiraling down, down, down into the pit. But that is about all you can make out from here. Uh, Around the fencing, you see that at each entrance, there is a small shack on either side of the fence. There is one guard on duty at the entrance, and as you watch, uh, the guard on duty knocks on the door of the shack and is relieved by another guard within the shack, this time going from outside of the fence. The shack inside of the fence seems to have a similar setup. One guard on the inside, one guard on the outside.
Well, I think this is your show, Ethan, unless we want me to make it my show and have me punch my way through the guards and cause all sorts of problems. I'm always willing to break things if we have no other ideas.
Um, I need to get closer before I can use the boneyard.
Lee?
This, I think this is actually a Nathan show to start. Talk our way in.
A football field is too far?
I don't know how far down we have to go to see what's down there.
I mean, even knowing it's that far down would be information.
Is there a depth limitation, Kenny? Or is it
And
just a football field out and then you get an unlimited up and down?
I'm going to consider it a spherical area. So at
Yeah,
5 plasm spent, the area of a university campus, small town, or city neighborhood in a spherical area.
Okay, so a university campus is pretty fucking
I
big.
feel
That's a
like
couple
at that
miles.
point, if it's still going down after that, that's such information that we would at least know something, and also then it would immediately be a me show because we have to go down. Well, uh, a Nathan, then a me show, depending on how well it goes.
I mean,
yeah.
we could always
Okay.
just ask Guilt Skull.
I always underestimate the size of these things. Give me a
Well,
sec here.
if I remember correctly, uh,
We've discussed it before, and at 5 plasm for 3 dots of Raise the Boneyard, uh, 5 plasm would get you the entirety of Whispering Peaks.
Yeah, it just my brain
once the
brain
scale gets
gri-
too
gri-
big, it's impossible to parse.
yeah. Because it says a small town or a city neighborhood. And for me that looks like just like a a street like
I
that
think
you
I
would.
think they're talking about, say, the Bronx,
Oh, okay.
Like
That-
Hell's Kitchen, you know.
Manhattan.
yeah. That
Peoria.
Jesus. Okay. Okay,
Like if
yeah.
a like if theoretically a Sin Eater were standing in the middle of Manhattan, he could use 3 dots of Raise the Boneyard and spin 5 plasm to project the Boneyard over all of Manhattan, but not all of New York City.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
So,
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and use raise the boneyard. Um, at the let's see here, 3 dots, and I have to spend the plasma all at once, correct? I can't use them over a series of turns for. Uh, correct?
Let me check.
I was thinking since if we're not in a rush and I'm allowed to spend it over a few turns, then um I won't have to use a key.
It doesn't say anything about making your boneyard larger or smaller once once created. There is nothing that I can find in the rules
I
about
think he's
not being
asking
able to
about
do that.
charges. If he
Yeah.
can put more charges in afterwards.
Yeah, basically I want to see if I can ritualistic cast instead of spontaneous cast.
Oh yeah, this game it says directly in the rules that if you're trying to spend more plasm than your per turn limit, you can spend up to your per turn limit per round
Hmm.
and then get your big effect all at once at the end.
So obviously we can continue to spend plasm to get more if we need it.
So
Okay.
if you wanted to, so what's your per turn limit right now?
I'm at 2 for my synergy, which so per turn is 2.
All right.
So yeah, if you basically you would more or less meditate or ritualize for 2 rounds, and on the third round it would happen. Not that this would matter outside of combat.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the difference between me taking a little bit of time and me using one of my keys. So,
I think we've got a little bit of time because we're just hanging out here.
yeah.
We're outside of
So,
the fence. If you're going to
yeah, so,
patrol outside of the fence, what's the point of the fence?
mhm. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the extra time and get and uh and cast the boneyard at full full
Splendor.
power. Yeah, in full
And
splendor.
and are you going to make an attempt to hide, or are you going to do it in full view of the guards?
Should probably hide. At least get out there direct line of sight.
This is a very wide circle that we've got left and right wise. I'm just going to march us back down until we're not, immediately visible from the guardhouse.
Yeah.
You've got so much range. I doubt that being a little further to the right is going to be the reason you can't and see the bottom.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So, uh, would you take wits plus composure to find an appropriate bit of cover?
Sure. Who wants to make that roll?
I will
Well,
go
I've
for it.
got 6.
Wits.
I've got
Composure.
7.
Can I roll to assist?
Yep.
Imagine we're searching together.
Yeah, why not?
All right. Since I'm not on a chance die with this, I will assist.
All right, 2. Watch me absolutely fucking beef it after all this help. And 2. All right, that's a grand total of 11 dice, of which I succeeded 2. Void! Thank you! And directly, thank you. Woo!
Yes, thanks for gifting a sub. We always appreciate to see that happen.
And it's always good to have more subs about.
Looks like you gave it to Jeff.
You know what? Since we're already paused here, let me do this. Since we're already interrupted.
Yay!
Hooray, thank
Thank
you for
subscribing
subbing,
to.
Tibbs.
I did it at the beginning.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm feeling some peer pressure. Unfortunately, I don't have my wallet with me.
Yeah.
Yes, everybody pay me to play in this game.
It's the tax.
Oh, oh shit.
Oh, hey, thank you for
Um,
helping me subscribe to our own channel.
Woo! Means we get to play with all the toys, which is awesome. Thank you
Y-
so much, Void, for all the help. And wow, Hype Train level 2!
woo.
The Train of Hype. All right. So,
We're almost at 10 subs. That's our first goal.
Nice.
So, we got 2 successes on that roll. And yeah, that's probably a good idea to clip this. I will try to remember. I will add that as a reminder.
yep. The entire party is subscribed now to their own game. Alright. Woo!
Alrighty.
Thank you so much, Void. Okay, so I think 2 successes might succeed, hopefully.
So after some rooting around, you see a lean-to made out of cast-off corrugated iron that appears to be uninhabited currently. This would make pretty good concealment from prying eyes.
Alright. I'm going to handle being in the doorway, and I leave this to y'all.
All right. So, so um, Ethan Ethan sits down and focuses for a moment, and you see his skin start to sheen to shine like uh like it's wet from the ectoplasm coming out of his pores essentially. And after about 30 seconds of this, you see it all just kind of run down, you know, run up his body and then down his arm, his left arm as he touches touches the ground. And with that cooling spreading from where he touches, you see the boneyard just expand. So let me give you a roll for the boneyard. Where is that? That's I believe. Is there a roll for the boneyard, or does it just happen?
It is a roll.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yes.
say it's always a roll. It's always a roll.
Synergy plus boneyard.
Okay, so I actually don't have a terrible. Four successes.
All right. So you spent 5 plasm on the area. Do you wish to spend additional plasm to inflict a penalty for leaving the boneyard?
No, no, I'm good.
All right. Well, remember that is something that the boneyard gives you at 3 dots.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you have established a boneyard over the entirety of Purgatory Junction. The city is more or less the same size as Whispering Peaks. What do you wish to do with it?
Let's go take a look and see what's down in the pit.
All right. So are you going to physically move, or are you going to use eyes in the painting to transfer your perception?
I'm gonna use eyes in the painting.
All right, that'll be one plasm, please. How many do you currently have left?
All right, that's okay. So, not a whole lot, if I'm being honest. It's okay. So it took 5 and then another 1. So that's 6. So I'm at 5 remaining.
Okay.
All right, so where do you wish to transfer your consciousness? Well, your
So
perception.
so I'm gonna see if I can uh, move it down uh, to basically ground floor of the pit.
All right. You move your perception. It always feels strange to disconnect your senses from your physical body, but here it feels especially strange. It, your sight takes you on a trip along the ground, through the fence, down into the spiraling bottom of the pit, or at least as far as it can take you. You would guess that your perception has followed the pit down by a mile and a half. Uh, the pit has gotten smaller as you followed it down, from a diameter to a city block of down here a few hundred feet. But you can see that you're not quite at the bottom yet. The very bottom of the pit looks to be, if you would guess from what you can see here, another half a mile down. You can see more lights. You can see more ghosts like the ones who were guarding the pit up above. And though small and hard to make out, you can see prisoners cuffed in irons at the bottom, digging down.
So
But
it's it's work for work's sake. It's busy work.
Or they're digging
Or
for
they're
something.
digging down to something.
now that's looking purely towards the bottom, since you did attempt to find the bottom.
Hmm.
Looking around from where you're at, you can see that the various paths that follow down into the pit spiral down, creating a number of roads that spiral down the pit like threads on a drill bit. Every so often, a uh, a passage is marked by a handful of timbers uh, passing into the ground. You do see that every so often a patrol of prisoner ghosts bring up several wheelbarrows worth of something, flanked on each side by a guard.
May I suggest moving closer and seeing what's in the wheelbarrow and or to wherever they're taking the wheelbarrow?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can uh, shift my perception to the re to see the inside of the wheelbarrow better, more detailed.
All right.
It's been 4.
So you move your perception again
Hmm.
so that you can see the train of wheelbarrows. Each of them appear to be carrying uh, cast-offs. You're seeing in things like 8 tracks, vinyl records, random pieces of linoleum. There's a broken half a disco ball in one of them. Uh, while you watch, one of the ghosts who is moving the wheelbarrow uh, looks around slyly from one guard to the other before reaching in and tearing a piece off a 1945 calendar and shoving it in his mouth. Almost immediately, you can hear the guard shout, "Hey!" The ghost is grabbed by the neck and held up above the others. You've gotten your ration for the day. Stealing from Lord Giltskull is a crime. Get back to work. The ghost is tossed down deeper into the pit, landing on a trail a few hundred feet down. The guard calls over another prisoner from a nearby shaft to carry the wheelbarrow up the rest of the way up.
And it's just
Okay.
spinning up the drill bit on the side. There's not like a elevator or anything.
No, these are carried by hand.
Okay, so in summary, they're digging. So the rivers have been bringing cast-offs down them forever, and this is essentially a deposit where all of this garbage ended up. And so Gilt Skull has been using all of this essentially free labor to dig up countless cast-offs, and that appears to be the thing he's building his wealth on.
Another theory is that possibly the entire underworld is just a giant landfill.
That also works, and thus anywhere he dug down would have this, but there might be something else down here that's worth digging this far down and not just starting a new pit.
Yeah.
Because the question eventually becomes, when does it become logistically more useful to move this thing 10 feet to the right?
And also, is how much of how much of this operation is profit motivated, and how much of this operation is punishment motivated?
I'm going to
Does it?
I'm going to give a solid yes to that.
The, I'm
I hate to interrupt, but Zoom has crashed again. I'll be right back.
yeah. No, it's not a this or that. It's a how much of which.
Fair enough.
Like what's the balance, I guess.
Does it cost you plasm to transfer your perception anywhere?
Yes.
Okay,
W
never mind.
one plasm every single time.
So,
Okay.
the last thing I would like you to do while you're down there is take a good, honest look and see if you recognize the face from the wanted posters. Because
Okay.
we got the description of his final face. Remember
Hmm.
from we've got that drawing. We know what we're looking for. We should see
Yep.
if he's down there.
Yep.
I apologize for the visual errors you will be experiencing at this time.
Kenny can't get back in. It says he's been removed from the meeting.
Okay. Hold on a second here. Let me see if I can send. I'll send him the code again, or the link again. Da, 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 da.
Hi, everybody.
I hope you all enjoy the sight of my mouse pad.
Okay.
We've been having the technical issues show. Thank you for joining us for the technical issues show. We're having a lot of fun. All right, so here's what we know. The pit is where people go to be punished. They are fed the bare minimum necessary to survive. They're clearly starving, hence why they are still trying to feed on basically random garbage they're digging up here. The pit is unearthing, whether this is the intent or just a byproduct of where they're digging, uh, cast offs from 50 odd years ago. And those are getting hauled up and presumably sold on the market. Hey, Tibbs.
Yeah.
I'm going to move us to the intermission screen. We're going to leave this Zoom meeting and we're going to come back in one.
Yeah.
Just open a new Zoom meeting at this point.
Yep.
It's yourself, it's just a show. The intermission.
And
Let's begin the intermission. Look out, Sin.
Alright, so we're leaving this one, correct?
okay, you're already in intermission. All right, deuces.
And it's just me for a couple minutes. Thank you everyone for your patience. We'll be right back after these important messages. So, if you have been paying attention, then you don't need this summary. But here's what we've been up to today. So, we started off with Tibbs getting access to somebody's computer who was buying an awful lot of candied nuts. And we couldn't figure out who that was. And then we decided to head on down to the underworld, where we heard, as we were set to go investigate a couple of things, that a bunch of. Alright, sorry, going into the Zoom meeting. And there we are. Alright, and
There we
now to
go.
get everybody's in the correct position. Sorry, it took a moment for everything to load up for me. And get everybody where they belong. Thank you all for your patience. And back to the show.
I can't believe I got thrown into the pit.
So, now we are in the pit trying to investigate what it is. Speaking of which, Tibbs, you know what the face we're looking for looks like. You're in a raised position, able to see a significant amount of the workforce. Want to take a look and see if you see the face, because that's about all we got here, barring us breaking into the guard shack.
Mhm.
All right, if you want to move your perception again, you can be my guest. Tell me where you want to move it. If not, you can make a perception roll and tell me and see if you can see anything from here.
All right. I'm getting a bit low on uh I'm getting a bit low on plasm, so I'm gonna try and pull it from here.
All right, so make me a perception roll.
Yep.
Hmm.
And then let's do willpower as well. Hey, exceptional success.
Just a second.
Yep.
Okay, so that's great, an exceptional success. So you look around for anything that might help you find Nathan's grandfather.
What do you mean? Yeah.
Just seems like the angle change.
Give me just a moment. I want the other players to hear this, and apparently we're getting some camera adjustments.
Okay. Uh.
Well, I guess I don't necessarily have to hear it. You can sum it up for them when you get back, since you're the one who saw it.
He's coming back right now. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't know how long this would take. I guess your camera must have moved.
It didn't move, which just when we restarted Zoom for some reason I am nothing but tits, so
Well,
It's
looking,
not that kind of stream, right?
yeah, looking from where you were currently at, Ethan, you try to see if you can find any clues that could help you find Nathan's grandfather. And something stands out immediately. From the nearby shaft where the prisoner was called to take over the wheelbarrow, you notice uh, a clipboard attached to the wooden board. It's near enough for you to make out uh, just barely what it says. It's a prisoner roll, with each line having the chosen epithet of a ghost. They hardly ever use names, so you're getting things like the Strangler, uh, the Green Salesman, things like that. You don't see anything on this roll that would point towards Nathan's grandfather, especially since you have an alias for him with Honest Monty. But if every shaft has this roll call, then it should be simply a matter of looking for the one that has Honest Monty's name on it.
Are there a ton of shafts?
Taking a look from where you're at right here, Ethan, you can see that there are a substantial number of shafts. A new one is found every, you'd guess, 300 meters, about 3 times the length of a football field, coming out like spokes on a wheel.
So yes, there's a lot.
There's no possible way that you could sit at any given position and read all of them. And the only thing that I could guess for us to try and get any information would be if they've got this, there's one place you could check. We saw that guard shack out front, right? If they're
Yes.
keeping the prisoner rolls down here, chances are that means they're keeping paperwork everywhere. And the place where they would be checking prisoners in would be at that shack. So can I ask you to spend one more plasm for me and go to the inside on the roof of the guard shack?
Already?
Because here's the thing. You have the ability to do weird ghostly movements, which means you could knock the papers to rustle and let you see what's on other pages. It's just a matter of us finding the thing. But it's the only place it would be other than Gilt Skull's Manor, and I don't feel like breaking in today. We are going to eventually do something about Gilt Skull, but like that's a whole fucking mess ahead in the future.
Yeah, I'll spend the um I'll spend one more to see if I can get yeah.
You want to go to the guard shack, the one inside or outside the fence nearest you?
Um I'm gonna go for the one that looks like a checkpoint.
So the one on the outside?
Yes.
All right. So you feel your perceptions rush off again as you change the point that you're perceiving. The shack isn't much from the inside. It is a one-room building. There is a cot at the far end, a bucket in the opposite corner. In this case, from what you can see, apparently filled with various cast-offs, and a desk at the near end with a chair. There's various pieces of paperwork, and there's some shelves along the near wall where various tools and pieces of equipment that the guards may need are uh, stored. The guard who went into the shack before you began using the boneyard is laying in the bed, evidently asleep.
Nothing else?
Not really, just the paperwork on the desk.
Well, you have the right to look at every piece of paperwork now.
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can take I'm gonna take a look at the paperwork. If I Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at the paperwork.
All
Sorry.
right, give me a wits plus investigation roll.
Okay. Mm,
Can I assist?
no, I don't think so. Not on this one.
I could just whisper random answers into your ear like a scantron. Pretty sure this one's C.
Your wits
I-
plus investigation is 1.
It's a luck dice.
Well, that is a dramatic failure if your wits plus investigation is a luck die.
Yep,
You didn't use a key to unlock, did you?
correct. I did not.
Well, well, then I know how to handle this. The guard in the cot rouses. You can hear him mutter, "Why is it so warm in here?" He looks around and bright. Suddenly it dawns on you. Some degree of your liminal aura must have followed your perceptions.
Bailout.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, I'm gonna end the boneyard as he's still groggy.
All right. So what you got was that there was paperwork on that desk. That might be able to give you the information that you're looking for, but from here, someone is going to have to get in there.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question. When I don the shroud, do I leave my physical body behind, or does it
No,
come with me?
you transform into a ghost. When you don the shroud, you put on your Geist like a cloak. Or perhaps more accurately in this instance, like a suit.
Okay, never mind.
Does anyone have a stealth roll?
Well, actually, yeah. I 4.
We
I
know
have
the
it.
guy's asleep in there. He's probably going to go back after a minute or two of inactivity, which we absolutely are going to do anyways. Um, If you want, I can go be noisy somewhere else to draw attention, like, you know, knocking over this lean-to on accident by standing up too hard while you guys sneak in.
When I wear my Geist, do I look like her or do I look like me?
You look like your own ghost.
So
So
you.
I look like me as a ghost. Okay.
Yeah, you could describe what you look like as a ghost. Now, while you're not looking at the shroud, if you do think this is a good idea, while you aren't able to enter Twilight in the underworld because it doesn't exist, there are things that you can do with it. How many dots of the shroud do you have?
Just one. Basically, I was gonna pull a bard because I thought I was gonna look like prom queen and I was gonna go in there and try to seduce him and take the papers, but that no one is gonna be seduced by Nathan.
Well, good news is he's probably still asleep, so why don't you guys be sneaky and I will be loud. So,
If you're being loud, he's gonna be awake. So what is the point in being sneaky?
valid point. In which case, you guys go be sneaky.
You could be sneaky. You could roll a social roll. You could attack. You've got options.
You said this is the one outside the gate?
Yes.
Wonder if I could lure him out, you guys.
I mean, that was what I was offering to do.
No, I mean socially.
Oh, well, there is an active guard that you can go talk to as well. There's a there's a guard who's asleep and there's a guard who's patrolling right now.
Right, but I was thinking that if we get the one who's in there out of there and talking, Tibbs can sneak in and take the papers. Or he can sneak in while he's asleep and we don't need to do social at all, which might be the easiest. So probably that one.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to attempt to sneak in, and then from there skim all the paperwork and then leave.
Can I ask a straightforward question?
Yep.
Uh, Nathan,
Yeah.
do you have a stealth roll?
I have one dot in stealth.
And what's your wits or dex?
3 or 3, respectively.
So you've got four. What would be your total, Ethan?
4 and eidetic memory.
Oh, wait.
So you
Then don't you know what's in the paperwork?
I
it would be the top page.
Yeah, I was hoping to get access to the rest of the pages.
Gotcha. So let's sneak you in then. Sorry, eidetic memory. I forgot it existed.
On the other hand, if you steal all the paperwork instead of taking the time to look at the paperwork there, you would have the paperwork, and thus you wouldn't need eidetic memory. It's down to you guys' preference.
I would prefer not. I would prefer to not leave evidence that I was there if possible.
Okay, then let's go. Let's make this happen because honestly, I'm more curious about either finding Grandpa or going out of the city than this.
Mhm.
Okay, so Ethan, if you're going to sneak in there and rifle through the paperwork quickly enough to memorize it all with eidetic memory, I'm going to require a dexterity plus stealth roll to get in.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to require an intelligence plus stealth roll per turn. If you want to memorize the entire stack, that will be 3 rolls. And the
Okay.
longer you stay in there, I'm going to give you a penalty that stacks. So -1 on the second roll, -2 on the third.
Okay. All right. So let's start with getting in there.
All right. Dexterity plus stealth. That's 3 successes. The guard patrolling at the gate. You notice that he patrols a certain area of the fence about, you'd guess, 500 yards, and then patrols back to the gate. You wait until he's a few dozen yards away from the gate, facing away from you, and sneak your way inside. You're in here. You note while going towards the desk that these floorboards are certainly creaky. So any time that you're spending in here, you're risking making a noise.
Okay.
The paperwork is right there on the table.
Okay. And
The
sorry, go ahead.
the guard in the cot is asleep again, but as from your appearance, to your eye, he looks less soundly asleep and appears, you would guess, more easily to be awoke.
Okay. Um, can I uh, can I suppress my aura?
Yeah, that's a thing that you guys can do naturally. Uh, Give me just a second, and I'll give you what you need to do for that.
Okay, here we go.
I believe it's just
All right,
spend
page
flat.
99. The bound may spend 1 willpower to increase the level or reduce the level of his condition.
Okay.
So, what manifestation condition do you create? Anchor,
Yeah.
open, or controlled?
Anchor.
All right, you can spend 1 willpower to reduce that down to no condition, and we will say that while you have no condition, it's not possible for a ghost to feel your aura.
Okay. Okay. And then, all right. So then you said it was an intelligence plus stealth to rifle through the paperwork.
Mm-hmm. 1
Okay.
success. You've gotten through a third of the papers.
Alrighty.
Do you
And
wish to
then,
roll again?
yeah. 3 successes.
3 successes. 2/3 of the way through. Time to lower that penalty.
Lower that penalty.
Minus
Okay.
2.
Ready? Give me a sec here. Okay. So, 2 and go. 1 success.
1 success. You've looked through the entire sheaf of paper.
All right, and I get out of Dodge. Quiet.
All right. So, heading back to the lean-to before you get spotted, you're confident that you saw everything that the stack of paper had to offer, and that was Kazi pulling the mic away from my face. He wants to say hi to everybody, or he wants to eat the microphone.
Hi Hi,
I
everybody.
tried I tried to give him the mic to say hello, but he just took my pop filter.
Sounds like a Kazi move.
Kazi, everyone. Except no substitutes. All right, so here we are. Um, did you see among your papers the name Honest Monty?
Did I?
Okay. This is what you can remember from the papers as you look through your memory for the information. Uh, the papers were a bunch of paperworks about logistics. Uh, Basically inventorying the cast-offs that come out. Uh, as part of this tracking system, there was a diagram of the pit with with rolls of each prisoner of there. It showed 12 levels of the pit with a 13th level under construction. Each level has 10 shafts associated with it. You saw Honest Monty's name on level 9, shaft 4.
Okay. And in addition to that, are there any other titles, I guess would be a better way to put it, that stand out to me?
Hmm. Give me a perception roll.
Alrighty.
One success.
Thank you, Void.
Thanks again for the bits, Void. We always appreciate it.
And welcome
That
to the top.
that one success is a success.
Oh, we have
Uh,
spam.
Hold on just a moment. Getting rid of the bot. They got him before I did. So, looking through the list for any other epithets that stand out to you. Uh, you do see noted down uh, the hungry eye, noted with a distinct 1/2 symbol.
What floor are they on?
Same floor, same shaft.
Well, we'll have to ask Grandpa about the hungry eye when we get him out. So, we've got three ways we can do about these. Most of these have lasting consequences, but we do know where Monty is. Option 1, we walk up to Guild Skull Manor and negotiate his exile.
Okay, what is option 2 and 3?
Option 2, I go and get him.
Okay,
I physically walk down there, go grab him, and walk out.
that's dumb. We're not doing that.
It is an option. Uh, Option three, uh, we arrange a prison break and everybody gets out. But that's going to require a little more thinking and a little more care, because there's an awful lot of guards here.
I'm okay with that. I mean, I don't think this whole situation is right in any way. We shouldn't just be saving my grandfather.
Well, the thing is, I think that goes hand in foot with getting rid of Guild Skull, which is on the agenda. But I don't know if we've got the juice for that today.
Uh, we don't. Like I said, I'm down to like 4 plasm.
I'm
I'm
not
not.
talking about that. I'm not talking about breaking in, knocking everyone out. I'm talking about taking the long run, bribing guards, getting everyone to fight back.
The problem is the initial steps of that plan are going to require either us physically forcing our way inside or being willing to fight basically a small army.
I disagree. I think all we really need to do is, I mean, there's flyers all over Purgatory Junction. If we're just finding a way to get flyers down into the pit, it's not too hard to float them down a river.
Hmm. I'm not.
Organize a rebellion from within.
I just don't know how we do that today.
I just said it's not a today thing.
Okay.
It's a long-term thing.
All right. So are we done here then? Are we leaving Monty as he is, or do we want to do something about him today, or do we want to get going?
Hey, Tibbs, in
Mhm.
all those papers that you went through, can you search your memory and see if any of the workers had like a termination date or anything? Like, are these guys safe down there? Or are they going to disappear at some point?
Um, that's a good question. Is there any kind of uh schedule for uh termination of
Hey,
prisoners or anything like that?
While you were looking through the papers, uh, it wasn't anything like a schedule for termination, but there was multiple documented pages for prisoners who went missing this week.
Okay, so but not actual like
they're not just
sys
killing people every two
yeah,
days.
yeah, it's not like a systemic uh you know destruction of ghosts, ghost prisoners.
No, it doesn't appear to be anything like that. Um, there's about 5 weeks documented of prisoners gone missing. It was noted that on the third documented week, it was reiterated to everyone that being caught committing ectophagia would result in summary tossing into the sticks. The next week had about half the prisoners go missing, but then it crept back up to about 12 the week this last week.
Okay, so the prisoners are just eating each other.
Okay.
Um, okay, so the other question I had, Tibbs, have you increased your ranks in that pick up and move things
Not yet. I was kind of sprinting towards
boneyard?
tier 3 boneyard.
I just wanted to check. Okay. I don't have anything I can offer Guilt Skull. I don't have any quick ways of fixing this, and the one person who has a good answer for getting down there that isn't just smashing through the walls is half out of juice. So I think we are out of here.
Well,
So,
I mean, there's always the option to fly.
what?
Fly?
Nathan can fly when in the shroud.
I,
Two plasm. You can hover and fly in any direction at half your speed. That is 2 dots.
Yeah, but they'll still see me. Won't they just shoot me?
I mean, yes, they will absolutely see you, but you can fly at half your speed if you have 2 dots in the shroud.
I do not.
Oh, you don't? I thought
No,
you
I
had
have
more than one
one.
dot.
No, all of my XP so far has been spent on synergy.
we need to find some stuff to put that towards.
Is there anything Prom Queen can do?
You could unleash them and see what happens.
Couldn't that hurt her?
I mean, I don't think anything done to an unleashed Geist lasts in a meaningful capacity. I think they just snap back to you.
All right, if you want to unleash your Geist, here's what happens. You once per chapter, you can you can voluntarily unleash your Geist. This is an instant action. The Geist gains the unleashed condition, and the Sin Eater gains the weakened bond condition. The unleashed condition, let's see. Working on it.
So, what we are talking about here, it would be essentially sending Prom Queen in to smash their way through the door. Because Prom Queen would be just as visible as anybody else.
I think we're done here for
Ah,
today.
here we go. The unleashed condition. You are loose, free to act upon the world directly rather than through the powers of the bargain. An unleashed Geist is a powerful force, but comes with increased vulnerability. They immediately materialize, ignoring all requirements for that manifestation. Gain the advantages that a corporeal entity has, size, initiative, etc. They share their plasma and willpower pool with the Sin Eater, and they treat their keys as influences with a dot rating equal to your rank, which is 4 for all of your guys. They can use any haunts that you know with a dice pool of power plus rank plus haunt. And they use down and dirty combat against lower rank ghosts and living people without a supernatural template.
Okay, we're not going to do that today. I think we're good here.
All right,
I
so
think
then,
I think it's time to get out of this town.
all right, so we are going to go try and figure out some information about places past here. Do we want to try talking around here, or we just want to go exploring? Because it
I
sounds
say
like
Um,
explore.
Right, somebody give me a luck roll.
okay,
mhm.
Do you want to do that?
sure. Eight.
Everyone roll perception. Let's say at a -3.
You got it.
Well, it's not a luck die, but but it's still one dice.
There is a world of difference between those two things.
Yep.
Nope, not happening.
Spent a willpower.
Spent a willpower.
Nope. I'm good.
All right, take your beat for your dramatic failure then, Ethan.
Nope, it's not a dramatic failure. It's a normal failure.
Yep.
Not that's a luck die, isn't it?
No, it
No,
hit
he
Yes.
one
had
die.
one die.
I had one die.
Isn't one die always a luck die?
Nope. Uh,
Luck,
luck die
luck
is what
die.
you roll when you don't have dice.
Okay, fair enough. So you don't get a beat for that.
Yes. I don't want to get greedy too. So
Nathan and Ty hear a metallic sound from high overhead.
Oh no. I look for the hook as it falls.
I get the fuck out of the way of the hook as it falls.
The chain unravels at high speed, and looking up, the three of you can see an ornate wooden platform with a large hook on the bottom, descending from the top of the cavern at high speed. You're able to jump out of the way just in time. The platform hits the ground, and the hook sinks deep into it. As the dust settles, the three of you are now standing around a new tableau.
I climb on top and read it.
The title written for this tableau is Ophelia. The tableau features a tiny recreation of a meadow, cutting through the center of it, where, in this case, the center of the platform, flowing water, and just below it, a young woman in her mid-20s, clutching a lily to her chest.
Do I recognize the person at all? Are they someone from school?
No, they're far too old to be going to high school. Ah, you. The face looks about as vaguely familiar as anyone in Whispering Peaks does to you, but it's not someone that you know personally. And this girl couldn't be younger than 25, maybe as old as 30.
Who has an expression score worth a damn? Can I ask you to paint the dead woman's face? I'm gonna go look for the words.
You want me to paint it?
To get us an image, draw it, sketch it. So we need to be able to go figure out where this corpse is.
Right.
Because this is Ophelia is a reference to Shakespeare, who committed suicide. So this may not be as obviously a murder as all the other ones. So
alrighty.
this might not get a crime scene as more obvious ones did. Thus, we're going to need to figure out who this is. Potentially.
Alrighty. Let's see here. Dex plus expression
Yep,
for
and that's a
me.
success.
Give me just a sec. I haven't rolled quite yet.
Oh, Nathan already rolled. Dex plus expression to sketch.
Huh.
Well, I guess you both get a pretty decent sketch of the woman's face.
So we've got something to work with in both of your styles. Somewhere in there we'll have some information. I am going to go look at the fucking hook and find the writing. It was there last time. I know how to find it now. Wits plus perception, I assume. I mean, just wits plus, you know what I mean.
Yeah, perception.
Perception. Wits plus
Or
composure. Thank you. Motherfucker.
sure enough, under the rest of the chain, the writing is there, same as before on the other tableaus.
So, is it the same as last time? Same words?
Exactly. Exactly. Down to the placement of the rest over certain words.
We have two choices right now. Option one, we get out of town and go do what we were going to do, which is go try and find traces of Screamer and stuff beyond Purgatory Junction. Option two, we go find this woman and introduce them to the projectionist and get ourselves a new Geist who's going to help us, potentially.
I'm pretty sure she's.
Dead people can be brought back to life through a pact with the Geist.
Did that remove her from the tableau?
I don't know.
Okay, I vote we go find her.
Because the problem is we haven't seen enough ghosts from our own personal deaths to know whether or not being in the tableau is their afterlife or some weird projection of this. If Dibbler has a ghost somewhere, we don't know. But the one thing we could do is find the body and see if we can't strum up the ghost.
Okay, so Tibbs, Jeff, what are you voting?
If you're voting a Geist, voting Ghost, I'm voting also investigating the death. I think that's probably the best thing to do. I was hoping to have Monty for the other thing, and we don't have him.
What are you thinking, Lex?
I already said I'm voting option two. Let's go find the bitch who died. The dead bitch. Probably not a bitch. She's probably a
Ophelia.
very lovely woman.
Let's go find
Ophelia.
Ophelia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go find Ophelia then.
All right. So are you going to leave the underworld or what?
I doubt she's
Um,
here. Sorry.
I would like to know where, in relation to the two Avernian gates that we know the location of, where we are now.
You know the location of a couple of Arnian gates, more than just those. Uh, but like for example, Purgatory Junction is about half a mile's walk from the cemetery gate. The
Is there any that's particularly close to this spot that we know of?
Let's see, which ones do you know of in particular? Give me a moment to take a look.
I went to dowsing a couple of times. I will go look. Pencil.
All right, the ones that you know the location of are the cemetery gate, a gate at the Russo Funeral Home, a gate at Whispering Peaks Medical Center, a gate at Cotton Winter Resort, and a gate at the theater storage building.
Okay. Are any of those particularly close to here?
The two closest, if you wanted to cut down your travel time, would be the Winter Resort and the Funeral Home.
I'm feeling Winter Resort on this one. I feel like this is happening out in the wilderness, so it's less likely to happen. She seems to have drowned, so we can probably narrow that down to water.
Okay.
And I doubt this is the kind of community that would have a lot of like pools. So
So maybe we head to the winter resort, look for water run off the mountain, try and use that as a way of narrowing down where the body is.
All right.
Sorry,
So,
did you have an idea?
I'm attempting to use all of the points we know to triangulate where this dropped.
Ah. Oh, well, we.
Oh, so you're trying to figure out where it dropped from up above?
Yes.
Oh, then we have some even better points to work with. Within
Okay.
Purgatory Junction, we know where the two other bodies dropped.
That's true.
So, knowing that those distances are probably easier to map because they're not also including a bizarre up factor, you could probably, using the fact we're in a raised position and able to see those two hooks from where we're at, or climb up the chain enough until you can, uh, eyeball about how far from each of those we are, and we could try and have a good place where to check when we go up topside. With, I don't know, a really high academic score that I think one of you guys probably has.
Yeah, this would be if you want to make this kind of roll, I would say to make a decent prediction of where the hook dropped from. Um, Intelligence plus academics. We'd have to make this an extended roll because this is some heavy math, but I would only require 5 successes.
Better than searching randomly in the wild. I have 3 total dice on that. I'd happily help you if you think that's valuable.
What's the roll? Intelligence plus academics?
Yes.
4. Tibbs, what do you got?
8.
Can I assist?
Yeah, of course.
I think within the role play of this, I am not the one who would be useful to ask math questions to, so I think I am just going to sit this one out.
Can
Got nothing from me.
can I use my ghost laptop for an equipment bonus?
Yes, that makes sense to me. We'll
Okay.
say that cuts the time down between rolls from 5 minutes to 1 minute,
Okay.
in addition to its usual equipment bonus.
Okay, which is its rank, correct?
Yeah, 2.
Okay. Bonus dos. And we're off to the races. 5 successes on the first roll.
Okay. So, foresight is an especially useful thing for someone like you. Having the foresight to compare a map of Whispering Peaks to a rough map from what of the three of you's observations of the underworld. Um, you are able to do some math to see if you can triangulate a position. What luck, you have exactly 3 points to work with. Based on where the hook fell, you feel your math shows that this should be uh, coming from the lake, which is just down the hill from the ski slopes at the uh, Cotton Winter Resort.
All right. I relay this to the rest of the party.
All right.
Excellent.
Well, we get up topside and we make our way there, presumably through the gate at the Winter Resort.
All right. So the others follow Ty as he points them towards the Avernian gate leading to the winter resort. This one is somewhat less interesting than the other two that you've seen. The gate leads simply to a very, very long ladder carved directly into the cavern sides of the underworld.
Seeing seeing the inevitability of this, I reach down, grab the two, and have them wrap their
Hold on, we
arms.
lost Kenny.
It's the tech support failure show. It's the tech support failure show. It's the tech support failure show, and it's tech support failure show. We're having technical glitches today, everyone. I'm
I'll
definitely not losing my mind.
when I get when once I'm able to, I'll work with Kenny to do some troubleshooting.
I
See
mean,
if see
it's just him, so I don't know what it is, and he changed out a bunch of equipment, so it's not the problem he was having with his old. Anyways, Babel. Not interesting for content. Does Kenny know that he's out? All right, there he is. It's the tech support failure show, everybody.
So I guess I crashed again.
Looks like it. So,
I didn't even note that. Like
so
usually when Zoom crashes, I get a warning because everyone freezes.
when last we saw our heroes, uh, you had just told us there's a big old ladder to climb. I grab the two, have them wrap their arms over my neck, and I climb up like fucking Fezzik from The Princess Bride.
The bright side is that this isn't exactly a completely vertical ladder, since it's carved into the cavern sides of the underworld. It is it is it is leaning heavily at an angle. So after the first few hundred yards, the cavern sides are angled enough that it's almost like climbing a really steep staircase instead of a uh, very steep ladder. Eventually, this leads you out into the depth of a cave near the winter resort. From where you're at, it's dark as all get out, but as you remember from when you were scouting this before, the entrance out into the winter resort from here is only about 150 yards away.
All right. Um, I take my phone out of my pocket and I phone Myrtle.
Right? What do you want to ask for?
Hey Myrtle, I know you are exactly the sort of person who has a police scanner in your house, so have the police found the body yet?
Body, she asks. No, I haven't heard anything on the scanner about that.
Well, the killer
And
struck
yeah,
again. Do you want to go see it before the police do?
absolutely.
All right, here's our best guess. Bring your car up the Winter Resort. We'll meet you there. Please don't go in until we're there for obvious reasons. But we'd like you there in case we get found with the body, all that.
All right. See you soon.
All right, let's get moving.
Right. From here, you're only a couple of dozen yards through the woods before you're out onto the side of the mountain, looking down at the winter resort, which 50 yards away. From here, you can see somewhere, somewhat down the slope of the mountain, uh, there are a lot of people around the lake and what appears to be a temporary fence made of cloth constructed around it. Not around the entire lake, mind you. It's not a huge lake, but it goes right across the ice, cordoning off part of it and part of the shore.
Um, there are lots of ways to search this, but I think we actually have the best one on tap. And we've actually talked about it a couple times today.
Looks like a job for Nathan.
Okay.
They got a
Either
better
that,
and they got a better investigation roll than I do anyway, so
either that, or you can ask the ghosts.
that too.
Well, either of those is a job for Nathan.
Let's ask the ghosts.
So, which one do you want to do recon? Uh, Moneybags or uh, Gus?
Probably Gus. What do you guys think?
I think Gus probably is going to be uh, the best pick here. Uh, Offhand. I need to open up their character sheets. I need to have all these character sheets downloaded on this computer. I should know all these things. All right.
Right, what are you looking for on Gus's sheet?
I was checking the stats on Gus's and Moneybags stuff to see if either of them had investigation.
Let's see.
I'm sorry.
I believe one of them does. Um,
Moneybags.
Actually, no. They both have larceny, not investigation.
Well, I feel like literally locating a physical body is something that anybody can do, and I feel like that's just perception. So all we're looking for is the physical body. They just won't be able to investigate them directly.
They
Being
they
that,
wouldn't really be able to investigate anyway. They're ghosts.
well, being that Moneybags is sitting around with a giant pile of negative memories all over him, I think the easiest one is going to be throwing this towards Gus.
All right, have Gus roll finesse plus resistance.
Okay, that looks like a 6.
Okay, so Nathan requests that Gus go take a look around. Gus nods, uh, giving you a little salute off the top of his head with his finger clicking into his horn. Uh, he makes his way down the slope and through the cloth fencing. About 10 minutes later, he comes back. Okay, well, it's a mess in there. And for one, you kids were right. It looks like the exhibition killer set up another one of his little art pieces. There's uh, there's a woman who's been hauled out. I saw where she was. There is a spot broken on the ice, uh, and it looks like the title of the piece was scratched into the ice next to her as the withered flower of youth. Looks like she was a ski instructor from what I can see. She's wearing the overalls, and her skis were uh, put in the snow nearby. She had on those goggles, and she's definitely wearing a resort name tag, so she worked here for sure. Even if I was wrong about guessing that she's a ski instructor. Looks like she got strangled. Legation marks on the neck.
Okay then. And again. So guys, um,
I'll work with Kenny to
yep,
see if we can figure this out, okay?
this is getting more and more common, and this has
Hmm.
been a day. Thank you everybody who's been watching along with us and tolerating this nonsense. We really appreciate you, and we hope you're enjoying the show. First order of business. We cannot be on record as the people who found this body. Full stop. We cannot be on record as the people who found this body.
I mean, categorically, we're not. The body's already been pulled out, and someone else has already found him.
I would like to apologize for all the crashing. We're going to do something about that. I don't know why, but Zoom hates me tonight.
So,
And
I think it was the killer that found her and pulled her out.
Gus also, because I wasn't done with Gus telling you what it was, he was saying that there was a bunch of people down there. He saw Delilah, but only from the back. It looked to him like she was having a panic attack because she was definitely talking to his sister. He didn't let her see him, but a bunch of Cotton employees, including a couple members of security, were handling the cleanup. No police were on site, though.
Okay, so we cannot give this body to the projectionist.
too many people have found it already, and there's all right. So here's the way forward, guys. Um, we know who's here. Lucerne is here, and well, there's been someone we've been meaning to meet for a while. No time like the present.
So,
We
so
were
I
skiing, right? Yeah, we were up here skiing. We were on the way to ski, I think.
we
No,
don't
ice.
have
I was gonna teach you guys how to ice skate.
we don't have any of this stuff with us. We're
I have skates with me. I was gonna
Also,
t-
most places have rentals.
I was gonna
okay.
teach you guys how to ice skate. That's why we're here today.
Or we could just say that we had heard uh
They,
Delilah that Delilah was hoping to talk to us at some point, which is true.
yeah, but why we are specifically here where the body is.
We saw commotion.
Okay, fair enough.
So I give you guys the common sense merit. Do you want to put it to use right now?
I think that
Yes.
sounds great. Who's got more common sense than me?
What's the dice pool for that?
Give me just a second to pull that up here for you. Because I don't think you need to make a roll for it or anything.
I thought there was a roll. Huh.
So, once per chapter, as an instant action, you may ask the storyteller one of the following questions about a task at hand or course of action. Roll wits plus composure. If you succeed, the storyteller must answer to the best of his or her ability. If you fail, you get no answer, and with an exceptional success, you gain additional question.
Okay, so what were
Uh,
those dice again?
it's a perception check.
Wits plus composure.
Wits
Gotta
plus
love it.
composure.
Gotta love it.
So
Also,
you're
it
four. Oh, go on.
also it makes sense that the rich kid doesn't have common sense, or that doesn't have a good common sense.
Why do my dice hate me tonight?
So the questions are, what is the worst choice? What do I stand to lose here? And what's the safest choice? And am I chasing a worthless lead?
I think what is the safest choice is the question that actually matters.
Yep. So, Kenny, our storyteller, our head honcho in charge of Whispering Peaks, our lore master, what is the safest choice here?
Well, you know that there is a crew member down there on site, a crew member whose phone number you all have.
I clutch my fucking forehead, reach into my pocket, and text to Lucerne saying,
Hey,
"Hi."
hey, no, you do not. That was my role. That was my success. I text Lucerne.
No,
Damn you.
I'm shutting the fuck up. It's your turn. I've been trying to push you into a social situation all night and kept failing.
So, Nathan texts Lucerne with a, "You there?" Question mark, question mark, question mark.
You notice that the little dots from where someone is texting you pop up immediately. Uh, and you are responded with, "You beat me. There's been a murder. Can you get to the resort?"
I text back, "Yeah, see you in 43.2 seconds," and head down the hill.
So the group heads down the hill. In front of the cloth fence, there is a very panicky looking resort employee, not a member of Cotton Security or anything. From the look of her, she looks like an usher, early 20s. Um, she's got blonde hair and is pale as a ghost.
But she's not a ghost, right?
Nope,
Okay,
not
just
blue.
checking.
Not blue in any way.
Uh, I walk up to her and say hello and "Hi, you seem stressed. How can I help?"
I'm sorry, folks, she says, but the lake is, at least this part of the lake is, ah, it's closed to visitors. Can you go around or
Oh,
come
no,
back later?
it's okay. We're actually here to see Delilah Cotton.
A very complex series of emotions passes across this lady's face. She ends on a look of resignation that speaks volumes. And the titles of those volumes are "I Don't Get Paid Enough for This."
I
She's in here.
Thank you. Do you need anything?
I need you not to tell them I let you in.
I'm not going to tell anyone anything. You have a
did
better day.
Tibbs?
I I just I just take a moment. I look her in the eye and I I pass her a chocolate bar and like I hope this helps and then move on.
On the other side of the cloth barrier, About half a dozen cotton security employees are supervising a good 20 or so people from the winter resort. A handful are attending to the body. Others are attempting to answer questions. Uh, Most of the security people are actually uh, cataloging the murder scene itself in a manner similar to police. But there aren't any police here. Uh, but over all of that, you can hear the loud sound of a woman sobbing. And almost as loud, you can hear Lucy's voice saying, "Calm down, Lily. Calm down. They said they'd be here soon."
Miss Cotton?
You see Lucy stick her head up over the crowd, her dark hair and purple makeup clashing against the dark brown of her face as she waves over towards the group of you.
Hello, social.
Delilah Delilah Cotton is one of the top 5 richest people on the world. In a good day, she's in the number 3 slot. On a bad day, she's on number 4. So you've all seen her face on the news dozens and dozens of times. The woman can't get a sandwich without half a dozen paparazzi trying to photograph her. And you get the feeling that if you took a picture of her right now, you would be on Easy Street. Her makeup is running down her face as she sobs uncontrollably. Her blonde hair completely unkempt. She's wearing a suit that costs about as much as Ethan's house. "Are you them?" she says, turning around and looking at the 3 of you and through the 2 ghosts.
I I step forward, hand hand her a some tissues and and just say, I know this isn't what you want to hear right now, but you might want to clean yourself up in case photos get stolen or get snagged. Percep Perception in yeah, you gotta yeah, I'm sorry.
She takes a handkerchief from Lucy and simply covers her face in it. No longer not bothering to stop sobbing as she wails at you. "They killed Samantha. No one else here to talk to me like a person. No one but Lucy. But she's not from here. She came with me. Samantha was the only friend from Whispering Peaks I had."
We'll find who did this. We're very close.
Would you like we have quite a bit of information, and I think I think that you would benefit from knowing what we know.
All right. I think this is about where we're going to need to call it for the night. Thank you very much, everybody. Let's go over everyone's aspirations.
All right.
All right, so First, first aspiration I have is get out of Whispering Peaks. I've just I've just made contact with someone with a lot of influence. Um, that that might make you know help me out in that regard. I don't believe I've made any headway on the getting world record speed run. Um, what's in the hole? We figured out what's in the hole. So step and clear. And
Yeah,
and then lastly, get Old Man Houlihan to join the crew. I don't believe we made any headway on that.
yeah, I don't think I can give you that one.
Okay, that's me.
All right, who's next?
I'll go. All right, so we definitely found more clues about the killer.
Yeah,
I didn't take any steps towards getting to know Josie.
that's
However, I
fair.
I do think that I stepped and cleared finding my grandfather's ghost.
Very much so. You know exactly where he is, down to the mine shaft he's imprisoned in.
I believe that I took a step towards making a new friend by meeting Ms. Delilah Cotton.
Sure.
And, well, with Tibbs's help, we definitely got to the center of it.
Yep.
All right. I believe that's me then. Get scouted for college hockey. I've been keeping up with my practices. Things continue. And I've just gotten hooked up with some people who might be able to help me even further. That being that Ethan spent some time selling me to his parents.
True.
Find the son of a bitch who took everything from me. We have one more set of clues to work with because we now have the body of somebody who is so fresh in the ground, it's either proven one of two things. One, she died in the last 20 goddamn minutes, or two, it's finding the body that creates the tableau. One of
The
those two
viewing
things
of the
is
artwork.
necessarily true, and either of those is incredibly good information. But we saw that thing drop. It's less than an hour cold, and we soon will know how long she's been dead. Either it happened when she died, and they found her almost immediately, which should mean there was fresh shit for them to find, or it's viewing the body that causes it. In which case, that tells us a lot about how the magic works. Either way, get underground. We got into the hole. Um, find Grandpa. We did. We simply did. We know where he is. I could go send Tibbs down to follow his shoulder for a while if we wanted. Um, cheer, be aggressive, up. I went to the cheer practice to see if be aggressive would respond to that. I, however, have had some thoughts about where we're going, and I think I know where to go next. All right, that's me.
All right. And since that's everyone's aspirations, uh, let's say 3 beats today for everyone.
Woo!
All right. Thank you very much for coming to see us today, everyone. Uh, hopefully we can get at least the Zoom issues ironed out before next time. And see you all again in 2 weeks. Same bat time, same bat channel.